getting up them cows twice a year, either castrating them or the bulls, and the other hand was you got to mark and brand them. That means you don't only put your brand on them, you got to have a mark in his ear. And I could tell you, but sometimes I forget what that mark was. But it went something like this: overslope in the right ear, overslope, underslope in the left ear, and so forth like that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And a swallow fault in one ear, and I can't think of all of it, but it was really fun. The fun part, getting up those half wild cows once or twice a year and riding them horses. You know, I noticed on TV sometimes them old boys be riding them horses all kind of ways, riding cattle. But when you got to herd cattle up and get them in a pen, and my daddy had bought 2 Brahma bulls, and he crossed them with red, no, it wasn't red Angus. They were something other else, and white face. And you know, that Brahma part that was in them calves was just unbelievable. Them things were just like deer. And you had to be careful because they wasn't only wild, they would fight you. If you, the calves, the heifers, the cows and everything came with that fighting attitude. But when that C-less road, they put, I don't know, do you remember when they put that C-less road through that? You don't remember that, do you? No. You don't either. No, sir. You don't either. No, I don't. And you don't either. No, that's before my time. Okay. When they put that C-less road from Sale Land to Citronelle, that's when stock law came into effect. Everybody that had cattle that wasn't under fence had to get them up, or build a fence, or sell them. But Daddy sold 110 head, one way or another, because those cattle was not so domesticated that you could put them in a fence. Ordinary 3-prong or 4-prong, string fence just wouldn't hold them cows. Mm-hmm. If they got after you, they was after you, and you had to get somewhere. But that's one thing I really enjoyed, and I always wanted to teach my children, especially the boys. Now I got horses out there for all them boys, and they won't never ride them because they are in Texas and everywhere else. They've been in the army and in service and different things. But that was fun for me. And it was an experience that teaches you how different things. Now we couldn't pin all them things with them horses. They were just too fast, too wild, and too crazy. We had to shoot them. We drive them upside of a road somewhere, and we had to shoot them. We had 15 or 20 minutes to when I shot one of them, or Kenneth shot one of them. You don't know Kenneth, but she does. We'd shoot one. We had 15 or 20 minutes to get him to Sale Land. Baggett meat packing company was there, still on right off of C-less Road there. If any of y'all might know where it used to be, and you may not. That's huh? Yeah. But we had 15 minutes to get them there. 18, 19 minutes, you pushing it. You push it. That old man could look at something other and just about tell you how long it's been dead. And I didn't know that was possible until here. I guess it's been about four months ago, I reckon. Somebody killed 2 of my cows right out there in that field. Shot both of them. But them detectives said, them cattle detectives, they said that smallest cow, they shot him on the backside of that field over there and went down that road on the backside of my field there, under that power line where we just come under. That's where they loaded us. But the biggest one come up here. But that's the first time that I've known anybody to shoot people's cows here lately. But now I do know they'll take them, you know. But the other thing was a man stole a horse while I was working in Montgomery. Stole that horse right here and took him to, you go to airport, you know where airport is. You go down Schillinger Road to airport. You go that way just toward the airport and Dawes. He took that horse all the way to Dawes. But them men come here and them detectives come here and I described that horse to them detectives. In about 24 hours or less, they called me and told me, Mr. Andry, I got your horse. What you want me to do? I said, bring that horse and bring the man with you.
Yeah.
They brought him back here, and I didn't think, he told me, he said, look here, have you got a gun on you? I said, yeah, I got a gun on me. I said, you got one on you? He said, I got the right to carry it to see that you don't. I said, oh, devil, I better check that stuff out. But I said, I don't want to shoot the man, I want my horse. He said, well, sometimes things happen. Just give me that gun. So I gave him a gun, and I thanked him. And then he told the biggest lie, really what made me mad, that my sister had told him to come up here and get the horse because the horse was starving to death and I was out of town. But that was his excuse to the police, but he didn't want to explain it to me, and the police told me that wasn't important. You got your horse, you want to press charges? I said, well, I don't know. He said, well, you got a few days to think about it. Said, but we gonna turn him loose, and if you press charges, he'll still have to come to court. In that time, it was a guy coon hunting. Here was a preacher that was coon hunting up here with me at that time. He told me, he said, Lawrence, I want to tell you something. I don't know why that man done that, but he had some community help right here under you that we not going to talk about because I don't know what it is. But he's sick and he's going to die. I want you to forgive him. So that's what I did. That ain't just a story, that's facts, that's the truth. Yeah, that is the fact. That I would, after he was going to go on, you know, I decided to just forget it. And I forgave him like the preacher asked me to do. That's what he wanted the preacher to talk to me about. So I thought if I was going to be a citizen, like I'm supposed to be, you know, all of us is Christian, but sometimes that Christianity really get checked sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, I did that, and I'm glad that I did, you know, if that'll help him any. But I got coon hunting stories. I tell you that. That's what me and you know the guy was up there, Tracy.
Which one?
That's right. There have been several of them up here.
The priest?
No. The guy that came up and You didn't get in on the book deal at all, did you?
She missed that all the way around.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Dr. Nordman?
Yeah, that's the one. He didn't tell you about it.
No.
Well, he was supposed to come up and we get together and talk about this. But now what y'all need to do is ask me some questions.
Yeah, and she's
got a list.
Okay, all right.
Can you state your name and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh yeah, I can tell you. I can tell you my name. My name's Lawrence. Andry. Yeah, and what you want? You want me to tell you something about myself?
Yes.
Okay, I'm 6'3". That's about as tall as I'm gonna get, I believe. And I weigh about between 175 and 180 pounds. I like to coon hunt, deer hunt, and I like to eat the meat as well. A lot of people don't like coon, but I tell you what, coon is about like deer meat, about like steak. If it's cooked right, if it's cooked right, I tell you one thing, you will eat it and enjoy it.
better meat on the market.
Now I'm gonna tell you a little joke on this. This is on my mother. We used to go out, me, Kenneth Chastang, Roger Chastang, and Gerald Henningberg. We used to hunt not one night, some night, just about every night. And we would hunt to because we enjoyed the dogs. Daddy had some really good dogs, and we enjoyed the dogs. But what was more fun, we come in here about 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning, and I would ask my mother. She said, "No, I ain't cooking no possum. Possum eat dead things." And she went on that way, on and off all the time. But sometimes I would just be checking her to see maybe just by chance she might change her mind this time if I asked her to cook a possum for me or Kenneth. Now she had cooked a coon. So she made me mad one night. She said she was going to get rid of all of us if we kept bringing them old possum yet. Them things eat dead things. They eat dead stuff, Lawrence. I said, I'm about tired of you too, Mother, to myself. I said, I want to ask you something, Mother. She said, go ahead, Lawrence, let's get it out. Just get it out. I said, okay. Have you ever ate anything alive? She said, boy, are you getting smart with me? I said, no, I want to know the truth. But I was getting closer to the door all the time, yeah, because I knew what I knew what was coming up.
That frying pan's coming.
Yeah, well, not that. See, my mother and my Aunt Louise would set you down and whip you. And if you ain't got no way out and you got to take them whipping, I don't care how you draw it up, what part you turn to it, it was going to get marked and branded. So, but all of these things you think about them that went on when you were a boy, that was really fun, you know. But we wasn't taking nothing from nobody, but we did enjoy these kind of things. But I enjoyed riding. Oh yeah, I got to tell you this one before I forget it, because somebody asked me to tell them this identical thing. It ain't been 2 months ago. So I said, all right, I'll sit down and I'll tell you. I went to Catholic school all my life, right down at St. Peter's. She knows exactly what I'm talking about. Cleophas knows. he come up when he need to get saved. But listen, let me tell you something. I had a teacher come. She was a nun. Her name was Sister Lucy, and she was a nice lady. And on top of that, she was pretty. And on top of that, she painted pictures. Now I think my sister's got some of them pictures that she took. But anyway, she wanted to paint everything close up, just like that kid that she'd put a horse or a bull like right there, and she'd do it would, that bull would look so real on a picture. You was waiting on him to bellow any time.
Okay.
But anyway, I told her, I said, Sister Lucy, you can paint these. I said, but this bull here, you can paint him, but let there be a fence or something or other in between you. I said, don't stand up there like you do some of these others and look at him and he's standing there and you paint him like you want him painted. I said, that bull will hurt you. But she figured she could give him a ear corn or something other, little feed, and that would, and it did for a little while till the feed ran out. And when he started doing that, I said, Sister Lucy, you better get back. Oh, he's not, y'all threaten him. I said, no, we don't. He'll just fight you. And he hooked her.
Oh.
And that made me mad. And Father Grassley did not believe in castration. We all kind of know what that is.
Yeah.
He didn't believe in that. His old bulls would come out here and fight with Daddy's bulls sometime a half a day. But anyway, he hooked Sister Lucy. And I got mad with him for hooking Sister Lucy.
Yeah.
Sister Lucy, when we go down there to the convent on Spring Hill, me and her and Father Grassley, sometimes we go down there and, but they'd give you some mighty good goodies out of that. The candies, I forget what all they called it. They had different names for them. But anyway, he hooked her, and I got mad about it. And I told him, boy, I said, I tell you what, that bull is going to have to get better. So Daddy been telling me the way you do a bull is what to do to him. You know, that'll calm him down some.
Yeah.
So I give them boys $1 a piece. It was 4 of them. I rode my horse down there to school that morning. Horse, saddle, bridle, and throw rope. And a tie-off rope. You had to rope him first. You put that rope around his 2 hind legs, and you pull him up tight, and then 2 or 3 of y'all get on that rope, and when you pull his legs from under, all you got to do is push him over.
Right.
Then I had Daddy's screw-on medicine, his knife, everything I needed to put on him after you work on him, and we made him a decent bull.
Okay. All right.
Do y'all know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Took the fight out of him.
Yeah, we took the fight out of him. He never come out here to fight no more either.
Yeah.
Well, he wouldn't fight us, but he'd fight the Daddy's bulls. But you know, sometimes people that was along with me, they, especially boys and things, you know, Lawrence, you remember what we done to Father Grassley's bull? I said, yeah, I remember. And Daddy remember too. But he just, Father Grassley didn't remember. I mean, he remembered, but later on in life, after he got older, he figured I'd done it.
Right.
Simply because he knew I helped Daddy, and I'd helped Daddy do. So he pretty well knew. But I asked him, did he actually think I'd done that? He said, nope. Mine, Lawrence. Me know you did. Me certain of it. You know, he was an Italian,
Yeah.
and he
right.
kind of talk a little bit funny at times. But he come out here and told my daddy I did it. But I wasn't fixing to own it.
That was
Yeah,
that was castrating you.
Yeah.
Castrating you did.
yeah.
Okay.
But see, I done everything I was supposed to do.
Okay.
I had the screw ones back then. Screw ones were really, you don't have them now too much.
Okay.
Them screw ones, and black leg.
Okay.
They shoot them for black. They give them shot, them calves, they give them a shot for black leg now. But most, I don't have too many of mine shot for that because it's not popular now like it used to be.
So what did y'all used to do? I mean, for the healing process, I've forgotten. You know, you had to add something after you castrate the bull.
That's what I'm telling you. Daddy had some medicine. You put that medicine on it, and if it was raggedy, you just put a little string on it. They don't even sell that stuff, a lot of that stuff no more. I ain't never seen screw worm medicine in a long time.
Okay.
But I don't think screw worms is as bad as it used to be.
Okay.
Screw worm was a thing that if anything got a bruise or a cut on them and them flies get there, then it creates a worm.
Okay.
We don't have that in them. Not that I know of. Not around here. Yeah. But we just enjoyed life. I know I did. That wasn't, and sometimes I think that maybe I did wrong. But on the other hand, I think I done something that needed doing. Might have saved somebody from getting hurt gravely,
Right.
So, but I did that, and now I'm kind of glad that I did. But now, what it did teach me was how to do that now if I have to. These vets getting pretty expensive now.
So
You take a dog down there, and you might as well be going to the hospital yourself. Yeah.
Right.
$200, $250, $300. But I like to hunt. I like to deer hunt, But I think that's what life is about when you can enjoy what you do, and I like to raise stuff. I ain't gonna raise no more. I'm not gonna raise watermelon too good anymore because you don't have a bit of trouble getting rid of them.
Nope.
Yeah.
Not at all.
But I got a remedy for that. That my daddy used. I still use the same thing to grow them watermelons and make them sweet.
So back to the dogs. You had a dog that had his hind leg was injured, and how much money did it cost you when you took him to the doctor down there?
Just a few shakes of $200. Yeah.
And they just kept him overnight?
They didn't keep him no time.
Okay.
I brought him back home.
Okay.
I tell you what that lady told me. I was a little slow getting him up, thinking I didn't want to hurt him because certain animals, if you hurt them, the only way he has to let you know that you doing something wrong is maybe stick a snag in you or something.
Right.
But I was a little slow guy for being sure I wouldn't hurt him. That nurse come out there, she said, "Mr. Andry, would you stand back and let me get that dog?" And she grabbed him and took him in there, and I paid for all of that too, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I paid for every bit of that. Right at $200.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty expensive bill, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was worth it.
So how about the coon hunt well we coon hunt, we went in the woods. Tell me about that.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna tell something on you too. But we went hunting that night, and he had a son about the same age as my son, and we were going in a bad place. And so we left the boys out on the hill because that where we were going, it's these little branch heads, as we call them, start at a big branch and they go out onto the hill. And so I said, let's leave the boy here so they can holler us out when we get there and see if the dogs got anything. I don't think them dogs had nothing that night, did they, Cleo?
I don't think they did.
I don't think they either.
Yeah.
But we started out and we started hooping. Nobody answered. Nobody answered. There was, see this ridge, you go up here, you come out at one place. This little ridge goes up here, you come out somewhere else. Me and Kenneth got lost one night and we come out down there at Bucks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good
So
Lord.
how did we, what did we tell the boys to do? Didn't we give them a light and tell them to shine the light? What we could
No, we told them to hoop when we hollered. Well, we did leave them with a light,
Right.
but that was so they could see. They had to rake them up some straw and snowing, I think. And but they never answered. And we walked right up, but I pretty well knew where I was going when I get, when you get lost, everything looks,
The same.
yeah, the same. So, but what we did, we started hollering for them. But I figured when we got to one road, I said, now this road here don't look as right, but if this road is right, it'll take us close to them boys. And we got down there and started hollering. We was right there at them, wasn't we, Cleo?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Did you tell about the gun that you was it? I supposed to be carrying it, or you?
No, you was carrying it. Don't come up telling that on me. You were carrying the gun.
Okay.
And I think I was the one got in them yellow jackets or whatever it was, or them washers or something. The dog had a coon. We shot the coon out, and when the coon fell, he fell right at the trunk of that tree, and right in there was a wasp nest or something in there.
Yeah.
Ooh-wee. Cleophas run off and left his gun.
I left the gun.
It's still there, I reckon.
Oh my Lord. You didn't get it back?
I don't think, Lon, you hadn't found that gun till today, eh?
Today,
That's been, what, 4 or 5 years ago, right?
that's been more than 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
Sure, that's been some years ago.
Yeah, okay.
Because all them boys are grown
They
and
grown.
got children
Yeah.
as old as they are now.
Yeah, yeah.
But, yeah, but it was fun. I tell every man, if he's got a boy, he needs to take him to the woods and let him experience
Absolutely.
life firsthand. Because,
Absolutely.
and I tell you another thing, and I tell people this too. It's amazing what a puppy would do for a child.
Yes, sir.
It if the parents can put up with the dog, it will pay off through that dog what he do for a child, especially if a kid likes a dog, because shucks, I had 2 in the house with mine, 2 German shepherds, and I think they would look for them dogs to come home if I didn't.
Okay.
Not in real life, but that's what they thought about them. Until, the mail, we had a policeman gave me a female. Her name was Vicky. Now Vicky, you see that how that fella sitting over there by that door? When you knocked on that door, that's where Vicky was. And if my wife or them children didn't take that dog, you wasn't gonna come in that house. I was working over there not too far from where W.E.'s store used to be.
Yeah.
down that one of them streets, and a lady had a big old German Shepherd. That thing was pretty, and I built her a dog house, and while I was laying them bricks for her,
Yeah.
and but I ended up having to build her a dog house, and I often wondered why was that dog house tore up so bad.
Mhm.
Come to find out, from what I was told by a neighbor, that he couldn't stand thunder and lightning, and when it start, he gets to the frenzy,
Mhm.
and he eat up stuff and tear it up, and
Our dogs do that same thing.
I got one
They
now that
never,
do it.
they have never done it.
yeah,
And they're probably 10 years old, 11 years old now.
yeah,
And just this year they started doing that.
yeah. But anyway, I built her the dog house. She paid me to build her the dog house. And over the weekend, them thunderstorms come up, and he started on that house. So when I went back to work, she said, "Mr. Andry, his name was Brutus. His name was Brutus, and that's what she told me, and that's what his name stayed.
Mhm.
And I brought him to the house, and he was jammed up. But now when it started thundering and lightning, I told them children, I said, listen, y'all get him and take him in the house. But now, he didn't want to stay tied up. Now, when he didn't want to stay tied up, and I catch him in the evening because I would tie him up at night, because when I got that mail, there was Vicky. Both of them, or at least her. He made her twice as bad as she was when wasn't nothing there but her.
Okay.
So I had to tie, but she wasn't good. She wasn't scared of lightning and thunder like he was. But when he started lightning, when it started lightning and thunder, you had to go and get him. Now, if you just wanted to tie him up and he wasn't ready to be tied up, I'd grab him, sometimes by his collar, to lead him over there, and he'd turn around and grab me around my wrist.
Mhm.
But he never bit me. The whole time I had him, he would do that. I kept him until he got old, and he just left here one night.
Yeah.
But he never did. He never would bite me. But he grabbed that wrist. If he didn't mind being tied up, you tie him up. But Michael, Rudolph and them brother, come up there one night, and them two dogs. That's probably one of them nights he didn't want to get tied up.
Mhm.
And Vicky's them children playing let Vicky out. Michael walked up there and didn't knock and nothing, and they about pulled his pants off.
Yeah.
But just lucky that they didn't bite him. When I got there and hollered at Brutus, and but that police gave me Vicky. She was extremely, they trained her.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd work with her, and I had too many of them or something down there in Pritchard. So he gave me that female dog.
Yeah. I think this was quick recording.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we just use it for filler.
Yeah,
All right.
but
You got more?
well, y'all asked me something now.
Yes, we'll second one.
Yep, go ahead.
Alright, what is your heritage?
Heritage.
As in, like,
Ethnicity.
Being Creole.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I'm a Creole. Yeah. You like Creole?
they are very interesting.
Wait. Now, see?
Oh no! Oh no! Let's let it carry the bag.
Yeah. Now, they just interested?
Well,
Wait, look. Look. I know what you mean,
Yeah,
young
you're
lady.
in the hot seat now, lady.
Yeah.
He done switched it around on you.
Let's go ahead and ask me another one.
Alright, can you tell us what you do for a living and your daily routine?
My daily routine? Well, I get up in the morning. I either feed my dog before I go to work, or I don't feed them and I feed them in the evening. Next thing is breakfast. Now I do like to eat, and I can't think of anything better than a good meal. Yeah, I see I get some smiles about like a good meal, but I do. But you know, then I go to work. I either do a little woodwork, or I do. I built Cleopa's a house.
Yeah, she did 6 rooms.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
6 rooms on a 4-bedroom house.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And he still got it.
yeah.
Yeah. So and he wait till I get through, almost ready to call it off. Then he wants some Donald Winters up top. But it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I had a good old man and my daddy working with me, and it made everything pleasant. And I think Cleopa was satisfied with it.
Oh yeah, I'll put you up against anybody.
But see, that's another thing. You know, it's very few people that I work with or work around. But I'm gonna tell you something about my daddy now in this work. My daddy didn't meet too many strangers, and I don't like to be a stranger long to anybody. See, me and you gonna get along all right before it's over with. But Daddy would, when I go to work, Daddy would take 2 kinds of coffee. One with cream and sugar for me and him. Now, see, Daddy didn't treat me right. See, he had that other kind of coffee that had that branch water in it. Do you know what that is?
I have an idea.
Go on and tell her what it is.
What do you think it is?
Like, you have alcohol maybe? Okay.
Oh, it's definitely alcohol.
It's better than alcohol. It's branch water.
That moonshine.
It's branch water with a kick to it. But it's good, you know. And you know, I run across people and what they call that stuff. Fella told me at the store yesterday. What they call? Man, I don't drink that something else.
Moonshine?
Huh?
Moonshine?
No, it's worse than moonshine. If branch water or moonshine, if it's made right, and you do what you're supposed to do with it, it ain't no better whiskey in the world than that.
Okay.
I got what it takes to know how many proofs it is. You know, 'cause some people want it 20 proof, just for the example, you know. Some don't like it with too many proof. Some want it. They want it. They want it a little bit weaker. But if it's just right, and I'll tell you another thing. There ain't no kind of liquor, no kind of way that makes better eggnog than branch water.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes a good eggnog now. But, all right, you can answer me another question now.
Okay,
Good to number 5.
okay. Can you give us some history on where we are today?
Where I am today?
Like the building that we're in.
Oh, this was at one time the living room that you sitting in now. See, it was a petition right in here, And I took the partition out and made it so this fireplace or this heater can do the living room and the dining room. And if Jesse would cut enough wood, it would do the kitchen too.
But tell us about the house.
About the house, well, the house is it's pretty old. I think as far as I can remember, I was about 8 years old. See, Dad and them used to live in Turnerville, and he bought this land here. And believe it or not, loggers was cutting his timber, stealing it. And one day, an old man come out there riding a horse, like I said 90% of them old fellas did. Most of them rode a horse back then. And he rode out there and he was telling my daddy about it. And so he told me one night, he said, son, we going to Chastang, and I want to show you the land that I bought. So he bought it, and we come down here, and it was a potato house right out there. Not too far, right about where that fence is out there. And I rode down here with him, and he had a little old dog. I forget that. All of us have been dog people all of our life. Like my uncles and everything, all of our life we've been dog some kind of way. But that little old dog jumped out of the truck and ran over there and started barking. And that's what they keep the potato, what they call a potato house. And when we got over there, he said, son, run back to the truck and get my gun. He said, there's a big old fox up in here. So we killed the fox. And as far as I can remember, I was about 8. I know I wasn't over 8 or 10 years old. And then my daddy decided that he was going to have to move down here. And then he bought 100 acres over on Cedar Creek over there. And then we really had to move because people just ride around through the woods and cut your timber and keep going if nobody's there to look at it. And see, back then it was 2 houses. It was a house right on the inside that gate up there. This house. From here to Turnerville, at one time it was 4 or 5 houses. It was all scattered through these woods. And people used to hoop. Going to work, they'd come outside and they had a hoop. And I can't do it now, but I used to do it just just to hear them holler. My uncle would come out on his porch or something, and he would start hooping. Daddy started hooping. And that hooping went on as far as the last house. The men getting up going to work. I don't know what the hooping was for, but it would let you know it was time to get up and go to work. But that's what they did every morning. And I thought that was kind of, I didn't know what to think about it. So instead of asking Daddy, what the devil you doing hooping all the time, I started it too. And but as folks got TVs and they got phones and all this kind of stuff, it just, people don't do some of these old things anymore.
No, don't.
Yeah. But the house, I tell you, we started building the house. I can tell you who built this house. Ben Brew, Claude Chastang, and Ben Brew, Claude Chastang. My dad, he was he didn't talk enough for me. He just worked. I went, hey boy, go over there and get that cotton picking. Bring it over here to me. I said, you sure that's what you want me to do? I don't know, but I can ask your daddy. I said, I'll just go ahead and get it. But I can't think of his name. But he was on off at 96. I can't think of that man's name. But he would come down here and help Daddy. And they built this house. Then as I began to get a little older, I put this paneling and stuff in here. And I put this Celotex in here. And I built this, I learned to lay brick after that. So when I learned how to lay brick, I built a fireplace here. Then when my parents passed, I told y'all that to stop it getting the house burnt down, we just put that heater here. And only thing I have to worry about now is that pipe stays good and that pan up on it. I got another heater that I'm gonna put in here and I'm gonna get it fixed if I can. But other than that, everything. This did have, I think it was tile or something down here on it at one time, but it
Yeah, I remember the tile being on
yeah,
it.
it wore out and everything, but then I put this. Wait a minute, let me tell you something. It was a shingle roof on here to start with. My granddad and them got them shingles, cut that timber out there, and they cut that stuff up. And they made wooden shingles now. It wasn't that, you ever seen a wooden shingle? Yeah, that's what we put the roof on. Well, I didn't. I was the toting man. They made me tote them up down the ladder. Yeah, but then as I progressed in laying brick, I built that front porch out there. It was a wooden porch. Then I poured that concrete out there, so I could get a little, whatever I had to do to learn. Father Grassi started teaching me how to pour concrete, and he didn't even know how to mix it. But but he was a carpenter now. Yeah, he could tell you every pitch it was to be cut and everything else, but he was not no bricklayer. But I went to them Watson boys down there and them boys in Louisiana. I had some good people trying to help me get on my feet, as they call it, get you where you're able to make a living. And you know what was really interesting? Some of these very people that helped me out when I needed help, when their sons come along, I was able to help them. And still helping them if they want to work. Now, them don't want to work, I can't help them. It's kind of hard to help a man don't want to work. Yeah, it sure is now.
What kind of life did your parents have as far as work, relationship, their standing in community, etc.?
In the community, well, Daddy was a logger. He logged all his life till he made up his mind one day to quit. He sold all of his equipment as he got older. Sold it, and he had oxen. And my mother was a housewife. That's what they called them back at them times. And the only thing I wanted her to do was make cake, cook out, and make ice cream. And I like ice cream today. And I'm going to tell you this little thing on my mother. She told me one time she was going to break me up from eating so much ice cream. I said, you can't do that. Ain't no way in the world. So she fixed me a freezer of ice cream, and I still got one of them. Freezer ice cream, sitting right there on them steps. I'd sit on the tops, on the porch, and the ice cream freezer sit on the one below. I sit there and froze that ice cream. And I said, Mother, it's about ready to eat. She said, well, I'm going to bring you a bowl. I said, bring a bowl. Don't bring no promise now. I want something to hold some ice cream. I sat there and ate that ice cream, and this is no joke. I ate so much of it, and I was so full. Then she said, now you got to freeze a little bit more for the girls now. You can't be greedy. But anyway, I froze that next ice cream, and I was fixing to get some more of it. I began to feel a little bad, and I just didn't get up off of it. I just laid back on the porch, right there, put down there by the ice cream freezer. I laid right there, and you think that ice cream run out of both sides of my mouth. So they talked about me, but I say, you know what? I still won. Mother still hadn't broke me from eating homemade ice cream. But I don't try to eat it all like I used to. But I just intended for her to know that she could not stop me from eating ice cream. To break me up, that's what it was, from eating so much. That's what she was going to do, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was fun doing that, though, eating all that ice cream, much as you wanted. But it
Grandma
couldn't.
and them got me with pies. We had our Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I got caught snitching one of the pies. Grandma said, don't let that boy eat them pies. That's what they were made for.
Yeah, I don't blame them. That is what they made
There
for.
was 25 pies on that table.
Yeah.
Grandma said, all right. Well, at that time, I was fortunate enough to know my great 5 generations of my family all at the same time, all together.
Wow.
And it was during Thanksgiving, so everybody made something, and they was just tables and tables and tables of just about anything you could think of, and there was a lot of stuff on that table I had never seen before. I don't know what that stuff was, and I couldn't even begin to pronounce what some of it was. So they turned around, and well, Grandmama and Mama, they gonna fix me. I got to eat every pie on that table as I snitched that pie off of. Throughout the day, I ate all those pies and got 3 more off another table by the time I was done. And Grandmama said, that's it. Save something for somebody else. Ain't nobody else gonna get none if he don't stop you now. And I ate, because I was a big boy back then. I was, my mother, which Mr. Lawrence has seen my mother. My mother was, she'd tell you in a heartbeat that she was 5'1". She was gonna get that 1 inch somewhere high another. But she was about 4'8". She was little. And my father was as big as he was, if not big. Well, Dad was still taller than you are.
Yeah, probably was. Yeah.
Cause Dave was 6'8", and you're 3,
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so to see them two together is like, it was really odd that those two got together the way that they did, and it was, to the rest of the family, nobody could figure out what Mama saw in Daddy, because Daddy come out of the military. He served in World War II, as a CB, an engineer, and so he came out and out of the military, doing heavy equipment work, logging, and just whatever come along. I did the same thing. I got hooked on equipment at an early age, and I just went from there. you know, and I retired an operator engineer. But we went and, you know, just had a blast, you know, and I was almost a little over 9.5 pounds when I was born. And Mama looked like she ate a big old pumpkin, you know. And because there's only 2 pictures that exist that I'm aware of are when she was pregnant with me. And there's no one has any baby pictures of me, you know. And because you had to go to a studio to have, you know, pictures, you know, back then. And we didn't have money for nothing like that, you know, unless we were involved with somebody else's shoot. You know, really, you know, there was really any pictures made. And I mean, we didn't even have school pictures till I was, oh God, you know, 14. You know, before any school pictures ever came around. And unfortunately, my size and my attitude, you know, didn't really go together. And so I wound up getting in a lot of trouble. But it was nothing that I caused on my own. You know, it was always somebody, you know, picking at me that got me into the trouble. Unless it was involved with my sisters or some, you know, some girl that I liked. Now, you mess with somebody, you know. Yeah, you were messing with your own life then. And it was it. You know, I enjoyed a good tussle and a good fight. Didn't matter with who. You know, there was, you know, 5 of us kids all together, and we all fought, you know, each other, you know, at some point in time. And my older brother, he was about 5'8", 5'9", close to that. And was quick as lightning, you know, and was a marathon runner. He was in 6th grade. He ran the marathon, you know, 2-mile race that the school had every year, and at Adams Middle School there in Satsuma. And it turned out that when he beat Mr. Brewer, which he was the man behind it, and he'd never been beaten. And then our brother comes along, and he got whipped by a pretty good margin. I was in the same race, but I finished 111th. So I figured that's pretty good out of 360. So I didn't feel too bad. But my brother actually won the race. And then the 7th year come around, Mr. Brewer wasn't going to let Terry win. And he told him, he'd been out, we'd see him on the road, running, getting showing up ready. And so Perry started doing the same thing. He ran everywhere. He didn't take the bus home. He ran all the way from Satsuma to where we lived in Creole. He ran and beat the bus there. He would actually beat the bus there. And so it turned out to be pretty funny on that next go round that Mr. Brewer was going to let Perry win. And he told Mama, he says, I don't know if I can beat him this year. He's put on a lot of bulk, since last time. And Mama told him, she said, son, all you can do is your best. If he can beat that, then more power to him. So just get after him, and don't look back. If you pass him, just keep on going. And it was two laps around the course, to make it. And in the first race, Perry passed him at about it was almost about 1.75 miles when he passed him the first go around. And Mr. Brewer wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. Yeah, but this year he was ready. And so was Perry. Perry was determined he was going to beat him. So he turned around and they got to go, and they were going step for step around there. And everybody lost sight of everybody else running and was stopping and watching them two, because they was getting it. I mean, they flew around that thing. And when they realized at the time that they had ran that 2-mile race, it was a world record.
Really?
But there was nobody there to actually
Make it official.
make it official.
Yeah.
And so they had a write-up about it and everything, but Perry beat him by 10 steps.
Wow.
And so after that, Perry, got into it, and got into, was wanted to do track and field. And football, he was a hell of a running back.
And no
Yeah.
pies.
If you ever got into the secondary, it was over. He'd outrun Motorola. He was just that quick. And then his senior year, he messed around and was some guys were doing some dozer work, and he got around over there somehow or another, and it backed up on him, crushed his ankle, and broke his foot up pretty bad. And so that was the end of his running. He had enough pins and screws in his leg, he couldn't even go to an airport. It set off metal detectors.
Okay.
Goodness.
What's your next one for Mr. Paul?
So, what stories were handed down to you that give you a sense of like family pride and some that touches your heart?
Something that
She ain't making
touches
it easy on you.
something that touches my heart.
Yes, a story about your family that touches your heart.
Well, the only thing, one that I can think of, that it's a little funny, and but this goes back to, now I know some better ones, but one of the ones that always sticks out in my mind, that me and Kenneth, we were out to my Uncle Walter's house in Tunnelville out there. And my aunt can't come up from Mobile every weekend to cook for us. And she said, the boys, I think it was me, Kenneth, and I don't know whether it was Roger or Gerald, but it might have been both of them. And the tablecloth had a little hole in it, about like that, hanging down in front of it. And he stuck his finger through it. And I said, Kenneth, you don't need to put that hole's already big enough. I said, you don't need to stick your finger in that hole anymore. I said, Aunt Louise is going to tear your bottom clean or loose from your hips. So we started eating. She done set the table and we started eating it, so he done it again. And I said, Kenneth, you better not tear that tablecloth. I said, Aunt Louise gonna beat you like you ain't never had one a whipping before. He said, oh no, she ain't gonna know it, is she? I said, I don't know. When we got almost through eating, he put both fingers in there. I didn't know that she was standing back there listening. I thought she was busy cooking. So when she heard me say that, she come in there and said, Kenneth, if you tear my tablecloth, I'm going to tear you up, buddy. I said, I told you that, Kenneth. When she went back in the kitchen, he said, I'm going to tear it. She don't know who she's messing with. So he stuck his fingers in it again. I said, Kenneth, I wouldn't do that if I was you. So when he tore it, it made more noise than he thought it was. And at the time, we had one door to go out, and I saw her going out, and I knew what she was doing. She was locking that side door so he couldn't get away. And in the windows, if y'all can remember, I don't know whether y'all can remember when the windows closed from the outside. You know?
You had to go outside to close them.
No, you didn't have to go outside. You could pull them too, and they had a way of fastening them inside. But if you were out or something other than just happened to, you could fasten them. It just drop it's a thing like this, and come down, and the window was closed.
Yeah, okay, yes.
Yeah.
I've seen.
But
I remember seeing
but
some of those.
anyway, he tore that tablecloth, and I got a better one to tell you about him. Anyway, Aunt Louise said, Kenneth, you tore that tablecloth, didn't you? No, Annie, I didn't. I didn't. By that time, the only thing we could do, us other boys, was get out of the way of that limb she had. Boy, she whipped Kenneth, and he was wanting to get out, but every way she goes, he'd run this way and she cut him off. I said, good gracious. I said, Aunt Louise, Jack, can you stop whipping him? She said, I don't know whether I can, but I'm going to try. I said, Lord have mercy. But anyway, he didn't tell her. He said when he got through, he was going back to Mobile, because his mama had never been, and we had another auntie called Jessie. Her name was Aunt Jessie. Mud Deer, that's what he called Aunt Gertrude. Mud Deer, and they don't whip us. They don't never whip me like this. I'm going back to Mobile. She said, well, I don't care where you go, son, but you're going to take this whipping with you. And he did. But he didn't stay long. He couldn't stay. But let me tell you something else on him. Now this is a good one. Uncle Walter had a dog called Mac. Now, the way his old man lived on the other side of the railroad, just below the church there. He had some little old dogs. He had one leg off because he sat on the railroad track and went to sleep. And the train run over and cut one leg off. But he kept them little old dogs, I think, to help defend him. Them things would actually eat you up. And Daddy wanted one, and we went down there, and Mr. Mack told my daddy, said, Robert, this dog is already named. His name is Mike. That's one of Daddy's brothers. His name is Mike. So Daddy said, okay. So I was with him. So we heard that. So we called him Mike all his life. But what Mike was good for, he could catch a pig and hold him down and not kill it. if you could single out a chicken in that yard, because you know at times they would just open the chicken yard and let the chickens go out and get the bugs and whatever they wanted. And if you could get a chicken single out that you wanted, Mike would catch that chicken and hold him down with his mouth and his 2 front feet and would not kill it. Now how in the world he just saw us catching them chickens? It's just something he started. At first we thought he was going to try to kill them, and then we discovered that he was just trying to hold them down. So, but anyway, so Uncle Walter wanted one. So Mr. Mack done already named, and my Uncle Mike thought he was naming the dog after him. So when Uncle Walter wanted one, me and my daddy took Uncle Walter's dog out to Turnerville to him. Now that was after we'd moved down here. And Mr. Mack rode out there to Uncle Walter's, and he told Uncle Walter, I think I got it a little backwards, because Uncle Walter got his last, but Mr. Mack rode out there with us. And Uncle Mike had named his dog, I think that's the way it was. In other words, Mr. Mack got upset because Uncle Mike named Uncle Walter's dog Mac. So when Mr. Mack took, we got our dog, he told my daddy, hey Bob, that's what he called it. This dog is already named now. His name is Mike. So each one of them named a puppy after that, because Mr. Mack didn't like it about Uncle Mike naming his dog after him. So he named his daddy's dog Mike after my Uncle Mike. But that was the way that went. But I'm going to tell you one on Kenny. Every Friday, when we went to the grocery store, we had to go to the grocery store in Sister Nell, because we was out there at Turnerville then. And but when we went to the store, Uncle Walter would always want hot sausage for breakfast on a Sunday. And he always bought enough for Mac. If we was out there and we was cooking, and he would he wouldn't tell my Aunt Louise that she was cooking. He said, Louise, cook her extra when we might have company for breakfast. But he didn't want to tell her that she was cooking that extra hot sausage for Mac. And that dog would bite you. I don't care what. If you come in that yard or that house unexpected, he was going to bite you. And he was the kind that would hang on. And, but anyway, Aunt Louise didn't, and he always ate breakfast with us. Uncle Walter sat at the head of the table. I sat over here, Kenneth or Rogers or Gerald, and Mac would go up under the table. Come in the house and go up under the table to eat on a Sunday morning. And Uncle Walter would always tell Aunt Louise, Eve, that's what he called her sometimes. Aunt Eve, that's what we called Aunt Eve. Cook an extra one night, we might have company. And when we started eating, he'd slip that hot sausage under that table in Mac's pan. And he'd lay up under there and eat it. And he'd stay under there until we got through eating. Uncle Walter said, all right, Mac, let's get out of here now. You know Aunt Eve's going to get you. But she was scared of Mac, because Mac would, if you hit him, you had to fight him. But anyway, Uncle Walter got up. He said, I got to go to Rocky Neck. That's a piece of property we had up there above the house place called Rocky Neck. And I'm going up to Rocky Neck and see what's going on up there, and I'll be back. So that just left us boys there at the door. And Aunt Louise said, that dog up under that table. Kenneth said, yeah. Y'all get him out of here. And Walter no better than having that dog in this house. And I told Kenneth, I said, Kenneth, you better let that dog alone. Let him alone. When he gets ready, he'll go out. And Louis just kind of asked Kenneth about the dog up under the table. Ain't no dog got no business in the house. And Kenneth said, I'll get him out for you. And I said, and Louis, don't mess with that dog. He'll bite you. Kenneth went outside and got him if he would go get something, he should have got something worthwhile. He just got enough to make Mac mad. Right outside was a peach tree. Kenneth hit Mac and was going to run. Kenneth made it to that peach tree. And Mac hung him somewhere around his pocket back there. But anyway, when we got Mac off of Kenneth, we got round to the front porch. And we got Kenneth over that. You know, back then on the front porch, they had a gate all the way across the front porch, chickens or whatever. But anyway, we got Kenneth over there, and Mac had to let him go. Kenneth never said anything to Mac. Mac went. And when Mac died, he still went in that house where he wanted to go. In that kitchen, he never did stop going up under that table. And he'd get his hot sauce as long as my uncle lived. But these are just some things that happened that's real memorable, you know. That's worth remembering in a way. Okay, what else you got for me, young lady? I'm going to tell you what I think might have contributed to some of the, whatever you want to call it. All of them worked. I don't know of any of my daddy's brothers that didn't work. Every one of them worked that I know of. And they was willing most of the time to help each other. Now, some of them didn't like the farming like my daddy did, but see, my granddaddy farmed. My granddaddy, from what I can understand, not only the boys, do you know that my aunties could plant and raise stuff as good as my uncles could, or my daddy. They just didn't do as much. But every one of them worked. And you know, that's something else. You know, I'm not absolutely sure that people raise their children to work like my daddy and them was, and like it was with us. Daddy didn't send me to work. He took me to work, and he showed me how to work. The first watermelons I ever planted, I told my daddy, he'd raised them watermelons, and me and my mother would sell them. All he didn't sell us to these little markets and things. We would drive around house to house and sell them, you know. I told my daddy one day, I said, you know what? Daddy, all me and mother do is sell these watermelons, bring you all the money. And so you know what? Next year I'm gonna plant me some watermelon. When I sell my watermelon, I'm going to keep the money. I didn't know. All right, son, I'm fixing to go get some watermelon seeds. How many sacks of fertilizer you want? Well, it kind of went like this. But Daddy, you know I ain't got no money. Well, how you gonna get your seeds and get your fertilizer? And you know you got to break the ground up now. I said, oh shit. Ain't no different than I think I was out putting the best deal behind me when I had all that help. Now I'm gonna get greedy. I want some myself. But that didn't go. That was just 1 year, and I went back to doing like we was doing. But to answer your question, all of them worked, I think. And if you work, it's an old saying. It's hard to keep a working man down. It's really hard to do that. And I hadn't got very much, but I can tell you this, that I couldn't have done what little I done if I had not been willing to work. And I think that's what helped me everywhere I worked. I was willing to work, and I was able to work. So when you got these two things going for you, you don't have very much excuse for not working. But there are people just refuse to work. I don't know whether they are taught not to work, what it is. But I can tell you this, most of us sitting right here know that everybody I see right here that I know of works, you know. And if you don't work, you have a price to pay if you don't want to work now. But if you work, you take what I do, laying brick. I'm not going to ever say that I like laying brick better than I do eating. I wouldn't say that. But I tell you what it does. It helps me to eat better.
Yeah.
I can eat what I want to when I want to.
Yep.
And just like my dad and them, all of them, from what he told me, when it was time to plant, all of them planted. When it was harvest, all of them did. When my situation was a little bit different, because Daddy was actually a better farmer than I was. So he would take off about 3 weeks, sometime a little more, a little less, and get everything planted. Then he'd come back to work. Well, see, that he didn't lose no time on my job, because whether he was there or not, he was going to get paid. But then when it come time to gather food and stuff, corn or watermelon, whatever he was going to sell, he'd take off whatever time it took, then he'd come back to work. But then, he began to give me a little handout, because I was able to help him more, you know. And I just think about it sometimes. I thought my boys was going to be bricklayer, but they chose something else. But as long as they'll work, every one of them work. Both of them work. And if them grandchildren, if they put their foot in Chastang, they're going to work too. And that's the only way that I know that you can be sure of getting something of your own, is work for it.
Yeah.
Now, if something other come along and it happen to come your way, I know a lot of things, you know. It used to be an old man on Highway 45 under the viaduct. Do you remember that, Cleophas?
No, I don't remember him.
You
I
don't?
remember the viaduct, but I don't remember
Okay,
his name.
right under, he sold lumber. And folks used to laugh at me because I saved brick.
Right.
But he gave me brick because back then, old brick was not in the question. They had a few new brick. I started laying brick when brick was, I think it was $40 a thousand, if I don't make a mistake. For not old brick, what they call a red common brick.
Right.
Now, them doggone brick is up there around $200 and better, 1,000. Some of it's higher than that.
That's right.
And them old Chicago brick is the same brick they tear down in Chicago up there, condemn them, and sit them down here and make money off of them. So, I mean, if you're willing to do something, you can make a living. You may not get rich. I ain't rich or nothing, but I make a little money. Every now and then I make enough to eat and sleep. So that's what makes it worthwhile too. Yeah. Huh?
So your family broke. Yeah. Okay, so Creoles dealt with many different barriers. What were the biggest barriers they had to break and overcome?
Say that again now.
For Creoles in this area, the Creoles in this area,
Yeah.
what barriers did they have to overcome versus white people or
As
African
people of color.
Americans?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny that I was just talking about that yesterday to some people, you know, how that is, you know, we are really who we are. It ain't no doubt about it. But then don't try to change me. You take me and Cleophas. I'm a Creole. He know what he is. And we've been friends all of our lives. Me and Jesse too.
Yeah.
We've been friends. Because we have come to decide that regardless to who you are or what you are, if you're a good person and you're decent, you can always find a friend.
Yep.
Now, you can find some enemies, but let me tell you something. When I first started laying brick, it was a little bit of, but what I didn't let that bother me. You know, I did my job, and I tried my best. I know we was working on a part of Alabama State College up there in Montgomery, and it was a bricklayer. He didn't like me, and he told me he didn't like me. And I never could figure out why. I just and didn't worry about it. Eventually, he was supposed to be a corner man, and he'd been working in what we call the swing. That's between, you got a corner man here and you got in here is the swing. You ain't got no corner. You just got a line to lay to. And I come to work one morning, and he had then decided to get on my corner, you know. And, you know, it didn't make me no difference. The only thing I wanted to do was work and make me a little money. That's all I wanted to do. So I just walked on by him and got my tools and walked back. And the next bricklayer back to him said, Andrew, what about setting this twig? You want to set this twig? I said, I don't care. It don't make me no difference. Just tell me what you want or what we got to do. He said, set that twig. We was working on something called a herringbone, laying brick, and he messed around and messed it up on the corner. When the boss man got there, when you get there, the headers was wrong on it. Where a header was supposed to be, and he had a whole brick. And I didn't say nothing to him because he didn't act so ugly with me. And so when the boss man came, he told me that he wasn't ready for this corner. But I didn't know whether he just assumed to take it or whether he was told to. The man asked me, how come the The boss man asked me, he said, Lawrence, why are you setting a twig? I said, well, nobody else was here to set it. So I set it. And he said, well, that's okay. I just wondered why. But when I started working from the twig down to that bricklayer, when I got down there, the brickwork didn't jive together. So he said, Andrew, you should have told me. I said, look here. You know, we've been working together for daggone near 2 months. If I don't speak to you, I don't get spoke to. And then you act like you. He said, well, I didn't like you. You know, I really just didn't care for you. I said, well, you can't, if you can tell me a reason you didn't care for me, I can tell you a reason why we need to talk about it. So we decided to just start talking. And that's the way it was started. But at the end of that job, that man had brought some laborers to work with him. And he told the boss man that they could do anything. They stuck a scaffold board out. Some of y'all may know what I'm talking about. Too far this way. Instead of putting a stationary out there, a scaffold or something, they just stuck the boards out there. Okay? And then, when they brought the boards from this way, they just lapped them on top of this board like this with no support under.
Good gracious alive.
But when he walked out there on that scaffold, that was over the weekend. When they walked out there on that scaffold, I was the first man there to try to help him up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the first man to help him to his truck. I was the man who took him to the hospital. Do you know, I didn't have to get married with him. And today we friends. About every 6 or 8 months, he'll call from Montgomery and say, Andry, you working? I said, no, and I don't want to work too much. Say, you just lying to me. But what I'm saying, just by not getting crazy and getting into something for no reason that would ever prove anything, because I didn't intend on letting him whip me, but I didn't intend to do him wrong either. But just them little simple little words and things that I done to help him out when he needed it, then
A long way.
yeah, every now and then he called me, come up there, and we had a contractor up there from Louisiana, was a real good fella, but he had a lot of pull with them landowners. That's what he had. I don't know how he had it. But I tell you what, when he got ready to build some of them houses up there, he would always donate some of them people that had that land a day or two of work, you know. But he had the right to coon hunt up there. When we go up there, all of us go together and coon hunt. When the coon hunt is over, all of us get together and go somewhere and eat somewhere. But what I'm saying, sometimes being nice is a whole lot better than being bigoted or low down.
Yep.
If you destroy a friendship, that's bad. But if you gain one, that's too good. Just you and him, just between me and him. It's already doubled right there. It makes it worthwhile. So that's what I would say, you know, that way he got so many jobs. It wasn't a lot of times what I did. He would have that different kind of coffee with him. Me and him drank coffee, milk, sugar, cream, or whatever you want to call it. Then he had that kind with that branch water in it. And you'd be surprised just to share something like that with somebody that really likes it. I don't drink it all, but I do like eggnog. I put a little bit in some eggnog. But I do have some friends that like it, you know.
Well, Vince can make some nice shine.
Oh, yeah, Vince.
You must put some of that branch water and that grape wine that you made for me.
Well, there again, just like I was telling you, if you put two things together, it's only get better. But now, just like I was telling you about the friendship, I don't. I think Drew introduced me to you, didn't he?
I think so.
Yeah. And me and Drew was good friends. Friends all our lives. Now, Cleo they never tried to jump on me, but if he did, I don't know whether I'd let him whip me, but I'd try to convince him not to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Quickly.
yeah. But,
Ooh, it's probably eyelash.
Probably.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, tell us your parents' names.
And
did you know their parents at all? Your grandparents?
yeah, I did. I knew my grandmother on my mother's side. She was my grandmother on my mother's side. She was half white and half Indian. Okay, on my daddy's side, they were French and Creole. So that's about all that I know, you know. But I do know one thing about my grandmother, my mother, and my daddy. All of them were pretty decent people. I think they're a whole lot better than I am. And but they were. They just was good people. And let me tell you something else. Teaching a child to save himself something goes a long way. Now I want to tell you, back there in that kitchen door back there, just after you go out, I closed that door up because it went out in that, where that little red truck is sitting out there. That's where that one door went out and the other one went straight out. I closed that one out. And when I tore that door out to close it up for good, when I took that door frame down, let me tell you something. Every now and then something gets a little emotional. I saw this handkerchief up there, a homemade handkerchief, that my grandmother had made for my mother. But that's kind of the emotional part of it. The next part is the happy part. When I saw that handkerchief, I knew who it was. Belonged to my mother. Now the happy part of it, it was full of money. The happy part was, and the good part was, I took that handkerchief down and I knew it was hers from the way it was made. The design was in that handkerchief. My grandmother had gave it to her. And she put it up over that door face and then behind that case, and so you couldn't see it. But when I tore that door out, that money was in that handkerchief. I took it out. I counted it. I divided it between all of my sisters. We got equal share. And when I called them and told them I was going to send them some money, where the devil you get money from, Lawrence? As tight as you is, you little stingy. You know that, don't you? I said, no, I didn't know that. I said, but do y'all want me to be stingy? Well, you could be a little bit closer, you know, because back then I didn't have no responsibility or nothing, and I did have a little money, but I never throw my money away. But Anyway, I said, I'm going to send y'all some money. I divided that money. I kept my part. I sent all of them the exact amount of money that I got. I distributed between all of them together. And they were so happy. And I said, well, if y'all was that happy, how come y'all didn't send me some of it back? But you know what they told me? Shucks, this is our money. The ladies in the family supposed to get,
Do all the money.
get the money between the four girls. I said, that ain't the way my daddy looked at it. I said, because he had some too. And when I got his, I done it the same way. Y'all didn't say nothing about that. But it was all good, you know. It was just the way that I done things, to be fair with everybody. All except Cleophas. I can't be fair with him. See, he think I'm gonna. He think he's on that lawnmower right now, and I know better. That's what he'll tell me.
Making money.
Yeah. But he might not charge me nothing, because this has really been interesting, and it's good to sit down and talk about things sometime, you know. But anything else you got, young lady?
Let's see. Growing up as a Creole, can you share some of your experiences dealing with others outside of the community?
Not too much. I've always kind of carried myself as a decent person. I usually don't meet too many people that's not friends, and it's nothing wrong with. I used to tell people all the time, if you meet people, if you don't do anything, stick your hand out. Stick your hand out. And if he draws back, that's on him.
Yeah.
But at least I've done what I can do. And that's the reason I get along pretty good in the world. When I left here and went to Montgomery to work, I didn't know nobody, not a soul. One thing I was kind of astonished about, but let me tell you what happened up there. I went to work with Esau and Jake. Esau and Jake is two brothers, and they worked for old man Esau Littles up there. And they were real nice people. I don't think they cared one way or another what I was. But I tell you what they did care about. When I went down that line like they wanted me to go, that said everything, and I was a decent person. Do you know a working man don't have time to I don't meet any stranger. Every once in a while, I had an incident here, hadn't been too long ago though, at Mount Vernon. I called this man Buddy. And I wasn't trying to be funny, but something had happened. And he tried to kind of put something slang in there about me, you know. And I told him, I said, look here, I don't care exactly what color you are. Why is Buddy so degrading to you? But he had some kind of hang up, me calling him Buddy. But let me tell you something. What I found out later on, that Buddy don't mean the same thing to everybody.
Don't.
A man told me that if something happened to him in prison when he was locked up, that one called the other one Buddy or something. And that's why he got so angry. So, but I didn't know nothing about that. You know, I didn't know. Buddy in prison must mean different than it is.
In the individual life.
Yeah, in real life, you know. I don't know what that meant to him, but
Well, buddy is in that instance refers to
Well, let's not say we did.
yeah, yeah, y'all don't need that discussion.
yeah, but see, I didn't know that,
Yeah,
and I called him Buddy, and I thought I was gonna have to fight him for a while, but them ladies in the store calmed him down and said, "Look, Lawrence come in here all the time. Ain't nothing degrading or nothing about him." So then later on, he meets me, and then he wants to shake hands, and I shook hands with him, but I still don't know. You know, I don't know what it is. Maybe somebody, if y'all know, if we don't need to talk about it, we don't need to talk about it. But it had to be something kind of rough.
I'll tell you later.
Yeah, okay. But I just didn't know what that meant. And, you know, I know if I call Cleophas Buddy, he ain't gonna jump on me or nothing. But and that's the kind of way it was. But shucks, but that was just an unusual one, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know what.
Dakota's got one more question, and you have one. So, got two more for you.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Dakota.
So can you share a story of the greatest or happiest day that you can remember growing up?
The happiest day? Oh, I don't know. That day sitting on that porch with that whole freezer ice cream by myself. Now, that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. And I guess the next happiest day was, I said I went to work. I went to work for $1 an hour. That's what I was making, $1 an hour. And I couldn't get nowhere. It looked like everything I do would be going backwards, you know. But anyway, I told my boss man, I said, look at here. I said, I ain't gonna never learn how to lay brick. And he told me in plain English words, he said, when you get to be as good a laborer as you are, you don't need to lay no brick. I say, I will. I'll continue doing just what you want me to do if you pay me the same thing you paying your brother. He said, no, that's a little different. I said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut my wages down to 50 cents an hour. Now, this is true fact. I work for 50 cents an hour. And my boss man put me with a bricklayer. He didn't care I don't think he cared nothing about what I was. He just didn't like me, period. For some reason or another. But that's when I cut it down to 50 cents an hour. I said, if you don't move me, I'm going to change jobs. So he put me with his brother. And his brother was a Creole. And we got along perfect. Plus, he wasn't the same type of man. I don't think the Creole or any other thing had anything to do with. He just wasn't the type that I needed to be with.
Yeah.
But anyway, he put me with his brother. Now you talk about the happiest day. I'm making $1. I dropped it down to 50 cents so I could learn how to lay brick. I had more time on the line, but they didn't want me to because me and another fella, we worked together and I went to work a many a day, 3 or 4 hours, so I'd get a chance to lay bricks, see?
Yeah.
I helped the company out more ways than one. But anyway, that worked out. But one of the happiest days, I got where I could move around a little bit and got a little gas money in my pocket. So, but I didn't have money enough to buy me a car to get to work. So what my daddy did, he said, "Listen, don't worry about. He said we'll come up with a car one day, some kind of way. 1951 Ford." And I got it, and it wasn't in the best of shape. He got, and you ought to know, Wilma Brew put a brand new engine in that thing for me. And shucks, I was getting happy about a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but Daddy got him to order. He didn't rebuild it. He ordered me a brand new block and everything, or whatever it took to go in that car. And then I had me some tools, and then I began to come up. And I can't start coming on up, and I got up to about what I make now a day. So, but what I'm saying, these were happy times when you have times like that, when things begin to come together for you. But it ain't easy. People say, old man, we were working at Fairhope, right down on that water one day, every day, and tell me how much I look like her husband. And Daddy told me, said, "Son, you need to. How you gonna handle that?" I said, "I don't know." I said, I really don't know. But she come by there and she said, "Mr. Andry, listen, it's somebody in my neighborhood that she would walk every morning, and come by there and tell me I look like her husband." And but she always have somebody needed a little work done.
Yeah.
So it paid off. And one day, Fairhope had I don't know what they call it, but they shut the street down. They all up and down the street. They got something to sell. If it wasn't, it was watches or something. And she came along, and just as I was fixing to get something to eat, and she said, "There's that man that looks like just like my husband." So I had to offer her something the other night. Made the mistake of asking her, did she want something to eat? She said, "No, I don't want nothing to eat. I want a watch." I said, "Well, she in her neighborhood, if she saw somebody needed some brickwork done, she'd come by there. If I wasn't there, she'd tell my daddy, and we'd go look at it. And if we could get it done, we'd get it done." So I bought her a watch. But that I felt good about being able to do something for somebody else. I wasn't just getting all for myself, Yeah. But that days like that is happy, And I've given people one thing I did for a lady, and I shouldn't have done it. I got blessed out for it. I was working at Montgomery, and this dude didn't come home, and I had his money. And when I got to Pritchard down there, where we all meet up to leave out going to Montgomery, all of us would meet up there. So I asked this guy, I said, I never will forget his name. His name was Sonny. That's what they call, everybody called him Sonny. I said, "Where does Sonny live?" I said, "Do you know I come out away from Montgomery with that man's money in my pocket?" He said, "Well, you ain't going back to Montgomery." I said, "No, the only thing I can do is try to find his wife." She said, "Yeah, we can find somebody around here know where he lived." So we started asking Sure enough, he told me where the lady lived, knocked on the door. She said, could I help you, sir? I said, yeah, you can help me, and I want to help you too. She said, what? I said, yeah, I want to help you. I said, I left Montgomery with your husband money in my pocket. When we got paid off, I got his money because I know we always come home together. But when I got ready to leave, he wasn't around. So I give his wife his money.
Yeah.
But now he got totally, when I got back to Montgomery Monday morning, he got totally upset. And I never could understand that. But that boy told me, said, don't worry about it. So he would have probably sent it to her anyway.
Yeah.
I said, well, maybe he would have, but I didn't think that was good, but I thought I'd done something that was done right, you know.
Yeah.
So, okay, how many more you got?
I got one.
Okay.
So, and I've asked you this before, but I'm going to ask it again.
Okay.
Who do you remember in your family speaking Creole?
Oh, my daddy?
You daddy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what I told you before?
No.
What I tell you?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
You've just never mentioned it.
Huh?
You've never mentioned him speaking it before.
Oh, yeah.
So what do you remember of it? And who did he speak it with?
With Wilma Brew. Let's see, there's one more that I know. Old man Russell Chastang. Let me see. His name was Big Russell and them daddy. You know who I'm talking
I know who
about.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
I
But-
never met him.
Huh?
I never met
No,
him.
no, he died years ago.
Yeah.
His name was and I know the man's name, I just can't think of it right now. And I think if I don't make a mistake, his brother spoke it too. Now his brother's name was, and I don't forgot his name too. I tell you, somebody else used to speak it. It wasn't, see, Claude Chastang married Maud Chastang. Maud, I don't know, she might have not been a Chastang. Was she a Chastang?
I have to look it up and see.
But I'm trying to think of what her name was. But I know there was a lady that lived not too far, Miss T.T. Do you know one named Miss T.T.? Yeah. Little old skinny lady, wasn't big as your finger. And right now they owe me for a load of wood. They do. And I tell you why they didn't pay me for the wood. The road was so bad going into their house.
Yeah.
Until I got there and unloaded the wood. And I had to get, I think it was Vince or PL1 to help. They get a tractor to get me out of there. And I never did go back to get my money. But I didn't want to go back. Now you talking about a bad road. Back in there, what you know where little Russell lived, do you?
I don't know where they live now.
Yeah, yeah. But back in there, but all the it's several of them older people used to speak Creole fluently. But see, what happened to us when we started, and me and my sister Fanny would, but we go to school and be talking to each other, and the teachers just absolutely stop you. Cause the children to think you talking about them, and we would not be. And but that's just the way it was, you know. They think we was talking about them, but we wasn't talking about them.
The first Creole I ever run across was in school, and they were doing the same thing, and the teacher just flat out told us, you know, y'all got, excuse me, French, but y'all got to shut the hell up. Because she thought they were talking about her.
Yeah, yeah.
And because
Yeah.
they was, her brother, instead of looking at his sister, you know, he was looking straight up at the teacher. You know, I mean, he was just eyeballing her. But he was eyeballing because he liked her.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
was a pretty woman, and he was kind of really really fond of her, until this incident happened, and when she came down on them, I thought, because I didn't know what Creole was until I met them, and this was in Florida, and I had no clue. And then when I got home, and because she said, y'all got to shut that Creole shit up. That's the way she put it. I didn't have a clue. That's the first time I ever heard the word Creole. And I asked Mom, I said, Mama, what's a Creole? And she looked at me really funny. And she said, well, how do you know anything about Creole? I said, I don't know, Mom. That's why I'm asking you. And we got 2 kids in my class that the teacher went ballistic on today. And I told her what happened. And she said, oh, okay. Well, you remember how Aunt Audie, she was, I didn't know but until Mama told me that she was Creole. And you know how they used to carry on conversations like nobody's business, and anybody had a clue what the heck they were saying. And she said, that's what she meant. And I said, oh, okay, well that kind of makes, a little better sense than what I witnessed in school that day. And that's been, I'm telling myself here in a minute, that's been a minute. That's been a minute too.
Oh. I think that's it, Mr. Andy.
You do?
I think so.
Well,
For today.
okay. All right. Well,
Yeah, it worked now.
Everybody's ready for a nap now.
Yeah, I'm about ready.
I gotta get paid, man, for the song. When you get a copy of that, give me a call.
All right, I will do it.
I don't have YouTube.
Okay.
You just made history, Lance.
I don't
Yeah.
know, but I hope I shed a little light on it.
Yeah, very much.
But I'm gonna write down some stuff and give it to Tracy, and so she'll have it, so she'll have something to talk about. She just smile all the time.
Man,
You do cameras too?
I video it, right. That's why I was asking you about his strap on when I was looking over there.